Hi, hope you had a good week. We're going to be doing a very interesting Perek in Yecheskel, and this is, of course, L'Zecher Rachalei Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi, as always. The Perek that we're going to be talking about is the Perek concerning the revival of the dead. So this is, it's one of the most fascinating episodes that you have in all of Tanakh. So, to understand what's really happening here, realize that the most powerful vehicle of Hashem's concealment is death. When Adam and Chava were in the Garden of Eden, Ramban tells us that their souls had enough vitality that the soul could have kept the body going forever. Death means that there's an absence of spiritual force. So the fact that we're mortal means that Hashem within us is concealed. The fact of mortality is Hashem's ultimate weapon of concealment. So from that perspective, realize that the body is always moving slowly towards death. Not just biologically, where from the day a person is born, they're a day closer to their death, which is certainly true, but also everything having to do with the body's needs. The body wants things that are death-bound, food, sleep. None of these things last very long. So the concept of revival of the dead is an enormous departure from Hashem's plan for the world. Everything having to do with free choice, choosing between life and death, lasts forever, and that which is finite and doesn't last long, is what all of moral choice is about. Revival of the dead means basically, as we'll learn inside the Perek, that the play is over and that a new act is beginning. So with this in mind, let's go right into the Perek. Okay, so it begins. One moment. Hayta alai yad Hashem, v'yotzieni beruach Hashem, v'yinacheni b'toch habik'ah, v'hi malea atzamot. Hashem's hand was upon me, and He took me out by the Spirit of Hashem, and He rested me in the middle of the valley, and it was full of bones. Okay, so what does this mean that He was taken to the valley Baruch Hashem? So Rashi says that the Nuvuah came to him by force. It was as though he was in a trance. Okay, so he came to a valley. What valley was this? So there are different approaches to this. One approach is that this is the valley where years before Nebuchadnezzar had required people to bow down to the idol. This valley, which is called Dura Valley, as we'll see, he demanded everybody bow down to his idol. He had a symphony orchestra accompanying him as he marched, and people had measured how far the orchestra could be heard. So everyone had to come out from where they could hear that Nebuchadnezzar was passing. Okay, and the only exceptions was Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, who wouldn't bow. So at this point, they were thrown into a fiery furnace. Okay, and they were the only ones who could withstand this. So, what the result of this was that the entire valley became known as a place of tragedy. Now, this isn't the first time this valley became a place of tragedy. At the very beginning of the exile, Nebuchadnezzar became aware of this, that some of the Babylonian women looked at the exiles who were coming, and they saw that there were some boys there who were beautiful, and they wanted them. And the Bavli women told their husbands of their lust for these boys. I assume that they thought the husbands would actually buy them as slaves. I don't know what they thought. But in any case, okay, the king had the boys killed. And not only that, but the women were so morally corrupt, so grotesque in their inner lives, that they lusted after these boys even after their deaths, so the king had them trampled. So this is a place of enormous, enormous tragedy. Okay, so let's see what happened in this valley that was full of bones. Okay, so Ve'virani alehem saviv saviv. He led me around and around. V'inei rabot ma'od, there were very many, al pnei habika, on the surface of the valley. V'inei yeveshot ma'od, and they were very dry. So these very dry bones, okay? Let's see what dried them out. Was it just the time? So let's go back to the people who bowed. Nebuchadnezzar was introducing a new world order, which is force without God. The people who bowed down, and obviously it wasn't